don't it?
Yeah, you hear that little thing, didn't you?
I hadn't had a car sound like that in 100 years.
That ain't probably a pair in this world. Huh?
That sounds like a bumblebee when it goes around the racetrack. I used to,
Yes, sir.
out there at Riverside, California, I'd come down that back straightaway in that old car Junior, and them 180-degree headers on it.
Yeah.
And you can pick that thing out. There can be 100 cars out there, and you knew when that thing was coming. It sounded like a bunch of bumblebees coming down the racetrack. We run them old headers forever.
You know where that set there was?
Where?
Down there in that barn, down there at Daddy's.
You're kidding.
That little red shed?
Yeah.
They're sitting down there, and after the auction,
Oops, sorry.
the auction was over, and I ended up with everything was left in those shed, which wasn't a whole lot of cabinets. I had took them headers and got them and set them down right in front of the door. But by that time, we sold the house to Schrader,
Yeah.
and which I didn't feel right going back down and getting nothing out of it, you know, because once you sell it, it's gone. But, so I'm looking for a set of headers for a rear steer car. Can't find none. So I go over to Schrader's and I'm talking to Donnie. Donnie said, you know, we found there's a set of headers down there in that little red barn at your daddy's. He said, come up here and look at these. I said, damn, there's it. I said, that's a dang set of 180-degree headers. And
I'll be damned.
he let me have them.
I'll be damned.
You know where them dang headers come from?
No.
Probably die guards.
I bet you're right.
They ain't. See, Stahl made them headers.
These are stalled.
But them are homemade.
Oh, these
they ain't got Stahl on them nowhere.
When Junior had his made,
Well, that might be a set of
Junior
Junior's.
had his all. He made them. Well, he didn't make them himself. He had them made.
Yeah.
Then Stahl made 180-degree
Copied
headers,
them.
but they weren't the same.
Yeah.
They're a little bit different.
Well, them right there ain't got no Stahl or nothing on them. I said, them headers, and I remember we got a set and we run them on the dirt track car.
Yeah.
And they either had to come from Junior's or die guards. I don't know.
Yeah.
One of the two.
This car is too nice.
That intake right there, it come from that intake that's on that motor right there. It probably come from die guards.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a Victor Junior intake I had down at my shop for 30 years.
Well, what is that motor?
That's a 358 engine that I had for Hilly's to build.
Yeah.
What I ended up doing, I bought a motor,
I
complete
remember
engine.
we changed it out and had to.
Well, I bought a complete motor. Well, my motor was up to date, you know, had aluminum heads and all that on it.
Yeah.
So when I got up with them, they said, we'll take your motor and then we'll compensate you for what you got and build you another one. This motor right here got a brand new set of bow tie cast iron heads on it. The daggum pistons in this engine were wrapped up in 1982 Shaw Observer newspaper. I seen it all. Got an old Moldex crank in it.
Oh my God.
They said
Gorilla rods.
on the ticket, they said that motor is 85% original.
I believe it.
Got one of them old red steel Lakewood bell housing.
Bell housing, yeah.
I had that at the shop.
Yeah.
Heck, it probably come off one of your cars.
Yeah.
Ain't no
What
telling.
if I was to take this to the track, I mean, everything's got gear lube and transmission
Yep.
lube. And
Got a 411 gear in it. I got the boy that builds a lot of gears. I went up there and got a gear from him. To go to the track, you could probably go to the track and I say you could ride around, but I wouldn't drive her off in the damn corner. I don't know about that. I said I was gonna tell you. I don't mind telling you myself. These fellas are standing there. That car's got a lot of old parts on it. You old, I'm old. I don't know if I trust it all.
I'm having a freaking flashback. I feel like I'm talking to his daddy.
Yeah.
Because his daddy used to, I don't know if I'd do that if I were you. I wouldn't drive it off.
I don't know about all that. But
I'm telling you what.
you'll make some parade laps. I'll say
yeah,
you're good and safe.
I can make some noise.
Yeah, you can make some racket. I ain't saying you couldn't gooch her down the straightaway. Back off way before you get to that
This
corner.
thing probably all over the racetrack.
Ain't no telling.
I had that. I got another one of these that Junior had. Pepsi got it for Junior,
Mm-hmm.
and it was an old rear steer car. Had an old crate motor in it.
Mm-hmm.
I took it down to Darlington, and it didn't have any power steering, it just had a regular, like, I must have been a 24-1. I don't know how in the hell, that's what I raced most of the time.
Yeah.
I don't know how in the hell I did it. I drove that old thing off, like you said, off in the corner at Darlington, and I was doing this.
Hunting more
I was all the way
steering
around there. I mean, I had a handful, and that baby wasn't even turning.
Out there's probably a 20, I'd say it's 24-1. I tell you what, that darn stern box was in the top of the building down at the shop and had that darn orange paint on it that we used to paint them race cars.
Really?
Like old Omaha orange.
Yeah.
It had some of it on it. That either come off of,
off one of them
well, they didn't come off no dirt track cars. We were always running 16-1. I bet it come off one of them old Chevelles you had.
I bet it did too. Golly.
And the parts on that car, man, they're telling. A lot of them come off Daddy's cars.
Well, that Camaro, you know,
Mm-hmm.
every bit of that, well, not, most of all the stuff off it came off that old Mercury.
Mm-hmm.
When the Mercury was wrecked, so we took all the rear end housing, oil tank, everything that wasn't torn up off that
Yeah.
Mercury after it got wrecked and put it in that Camaro.
Mm-hmm.
I never had that motor in that Camaro has never been started. I bought that thing as a